This is regards to a collection attorney from my office. And the person I want to present is Adam Cohen. I currently have his contract, it's a very simple contract, is currently with our town attorney. And Adam Cohen will be happy to come before you should you like to meet him. But he has worked for 36 municipalities, including 22 districts and some WPCAs. He is an unbelievable collection attorney. Dolly is currently using him. I am just totally comfortable with this person.
She's a corporation counsel for the Tax Collectors State Association as well.
Right.
Who's he having?
Pullman and Conley.
How is he,
Bridgeport, they have offices in.
how is he as far as his fees when he's going after collection? I mean, that's what I, yeah, well, it's,
He's got,
I'm just saying, you know.
Fees are higher, but he does a different technique also. His collection is through tax sale versus tax foreclosure. It's gonna work out, in some cases it may be a little bit more, in some cases a little less.
there's no cost to the town.
No, I understand. My question is, when you're going after somebody for $500 and they're getting a bill for $2,000 on top of it, if they can't pay the $500, how are you gonna pay the $2,000? How does he operate? Is it the same
He
situation?
operates the same way, that's the biggest problem I hear from
6 months
people.
later.
That they
Yeah.
owe, they assume they owe a minimal amount and they.
Well, does he charge for every time he puts a pen to paper like the other guy did?
Oh, absolutely, because he gets,
Every attorney.
yeah, per hour, they all do. His hourly rate is much higher though. But we will certainly do everything, and I think he tries to keep the cost down because he approximates when he tells you, and Dolly, how many did you set up the last time?
Last time I did 28 tax sales.
And I think he thought it was gonna be, what, closer to 5, and he came in at, what, 38
Yeah,
or?
34, about $4,000.
Yeah.
Because with the tax, if he's going to do tax sales, there's a lot of legal advertising, certified mail that he's required to send. There's very specific steps. He has to follow statute as far as exactly what he does. And at a tax sale, you have your money in 12 weeks. You're looking for money for June 30th.
And as an attorney during a tax sale, he actually wears 2 hats. He wears the hat as the collection attorney up front, then he's also the committee for sale. Now, I will tell you, in Clinton, we've only had to do 3 foreclosures in 7 or 8 odd years.
That's very low.
Exactly, because we're not going to get to that point.
I understand, but the point I was about to make to you, people approach me in the past and complained that they had a minimal amount and they're shocked to open the letter and they have a $2,000 bill. They feel they're getting gouged.
Unfortunately, part of the problem is they get 3 letters from Mel.
Yeah.
Or 4.
It's not like it's the first letter.
Before it even gets to that
Take
point, and they
action.
don't respond. And I've had people sitting in front of me and say, you know, you got 4 letters or 3 letters.
They don't
All you gotta do is
respond.
make a phone call.
They don't
And Mel will
respond,
say,
they
yeah,
get
with some
an
kind of
attorney.
I
payment.
understand, I'm just telling you how people approach
But
it.
I
the
understand.
problem is, you gotta say, yeah, just because they ignore the problem doesn't mean it goes away.
It doesn't go away.
It gets worse.
But they feel that they're getting, the attorney is.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to with Mel. We're gonna have that same
It
situation.
sounds like we're gonna have that same issue, but I understand the collection process and you need to have a heavy-handed attorney to collect these fees.
I would call
it,
trust
I
me.
think that's an unfair statement.
Well
It's
informed.
an attorney that proceeds
Well
in a
educated.
legal manner to collect taxes, people won't
I
listen to me.
understand that, but I'm just voicing my opinion,
Yeah.
this is what people on the street say to me constantly, that the present attorney that's collecting is really,
Well, we're not using them, we're
We're not
going to go to
okay,
attorney.
I'm just making a
What's the
statement.
reason for that?
Every time you gotta change every once in a while. Mix it up.
Is there a contract, I mean, there must be a contract.
No,
It's a civil contract,
But
yes.
you're not, I mean, if I don't give you any more tax, no.
Right.
It's just you use them when you need them.
And will.
Yeah, I don't know.
No
I
time
don't
frame.
say-
So theoretically, we could bring this up again in a year or so.
Is there any way you could communicate with the person that owes the taxes and
Tom.
send them a
They do.
letter?
How many times?
Tom.
You don't
I
send them a
understand.
bill and then send them the collection, are you kidding?
No, I'm just thinking, if you said, would be, this is your next.
They get 3 letters, sometimes 4 from
You get
Mel.
certified letters, you get phone calls,
Yeah,
they
she can't
ignore
go to her
you.
house. They ignore.
I hate to tell you.
She's
that-
a PIA, I'll tell you right now, as far as that, she does. She works out, she
You
reaches
bother them
out.
to death, you keep records of everything you do, 4,
Yes.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Because when they come
what
talk
do
to
you do?
me, Mel hands me a folder that's got their name on it,
Everything in
and
it.
it's got a copy of every letter they received.
I
And it
understand.
documents
Certified
imitation of
mail,
phone
that they don't
calls.
sign for, regular mail doesn't come
It's a
back.
good thing all my taxes are paid on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One other thing, Tom, you have to understand too, for many years, lenders who didn't escrow taxes.
Absolutely, that's the way to go.
Paid,
Okay.
well, people don't escrow tax.
Well, that was big back in the
I don't
late
do it anymore.
90s and early 2000s, so that the banks didn't have to have another department with all the employees, pensions, et cetera, so that they were doing non-escrow accounts. Probably 75% of those were not getting paid properly. I mean, it just, with the subprime, I mean, this is a whole
It's a mess.
issue. It was a mess. Then the banks wouldn't stand behind, well, they're not paying me, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna worry about going after them. So we talked to the bank on the phone, well, when are you gonna foreclose? Well, until you foreclose, we're not gonna do anything. They have in the last year started to change their tune. So I also send all of the lenders that do business here, they get a letter in September, just like the delinquents do, that on this date, at 12 PM, in this case, it's gonna be March 30th at 12 PM, the accounts go over for collection. They know that 7 months in advance, 8 months in advance. And it did help last year. I'm very strong about what I need to do because the bottom line is the voters have picked a dollar amount, voted on what we were supposed to get. I can't get it on my own. I wish I could. I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish I didn't have to do this. So I pushed the banks, so people aren't being put out of their house by the foreclosure. I push the banks, it's the non-escrow accounts, to pay up. Get these people on a plan, either an escrow plan, or the banks will now contact us twice a year after the July collection and after the January collection to see if those accounts are paid. So I'm definitely moving forward in the right direction, so, and so are the lenders. I mean, I can't do much more.
I know you have a very high,
Yeah.
collection rate.
Well, and yeah, they put it, the.
Well, we budget for a high collection rate too,
Yeah.
compared to other towns, we budget a very high collection rate. Nobody's budgeted 99% collection rates.
It's very high.
Well, it's probably, there's 15 or more,
Out
yeah.
of 169.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, we have to take care of our voters that do pay their taxes, so,
That's a good way.
Right.
there's,
I know that.
It's the on-time taxpayers that bear the burden for those that don't pay their taxes in a timely manner.
right. And statute requires 12-132 that these taxes have to be paid.
Sounds good, go get it.
Sorry.
I mean, if you want Adam to come in, he would be glad to come in and meet with you.
Why not? That's fine.
It's okay. Oh, I'll call him.
Pick a
and,
date, yeah, we'll let you know. We'll find out when he can come, what Wednesday.
Right, whether he wants to come in the morning or
Right,
a night
right.
meeting.
Now, have you looked at several attorneys or just this one attorney?
Just this one,
Just this one?
because, having been in the business all these years, we know who's out there that's good and knows what they're doing. It's a specialty. This isn't something that every attorney can do. There's so many ins and outs of this between federal liens and
Real estate laws, yeah.
bankruptcies and transfers of properties and which lender actually owns, the more, it's, you have no idea.
How long have you used
Complexity.
this gentleman?
I've used them for about 3 years now.
You've been very happy.
Oh, absolutely. I don't like, I turn over a list, I give him the list. He calls me, he says, here's the date. And in most instances, I have the money before it actually goes to the final tax sale, before he's there for the
This
tax
guy
sale.
gets the job done.
He gets it done. And you have your money, in 12 weeks. If you're looking to make a budget, and you need that money for June 30th, now's the time to move.
And I've got to move very quickly because obviously I need
It would be 12 weeks for this.
I need to get those accounts to April 1st, so
Mhm.
I'm just trying to move every way, so.
You answered all my questions.
When you said he works with the town attorney, what do you mean?
No, she
No,
said, she
the
said she
contract
the
went to
contract in town
Went to the
attorney,
town
attorney
attorney.
Bennett to review.
To review.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Years and years and years ago, when Dolly was tax collector here, we did use Bennett's office, but,
Mel and I did the tax sales ourselves then.
yeah.
But the laws have changed and they're much
That
stricter.
must thank you.
It was, we did a tax sale all by ourselves, because the attorney didn't show up. And
They're very
the
complex.
statutes have changed, To protect the taxpayer,
And the town. We have to
actually
check
the
both.
non-taxpayer. And at that time, it became too involved. If you miss a date, you've got to start all over again with your advertising or the legal costs. Leave it to the expert.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get you, find out what Wednesday he can come, morning or evening. Third Wednesdays are our evening meetings and all the other, or morning meetings, and all the other ones are
But
evening.
the last meeting of the month, we have a joint meeting with this.
Yeah, so it'd be March.
Yeah,